Good morning and welcome to AROC 2022 live and in person. I think we all deserve just a round of applause for just being here in person. My name is Steve Rubin. You're all paying attention, good. My name is Antonio Sampanides Dio, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this year's convention and to this very special keynote general session. In addition to our keynote address, Dr. Karen Nichols, who I'm now going to say was here in 2011, I'm going to keep saying it, when I became president with the Cake Boss Cake. We will be installing NJOPS 2022-2023 officers and hearing from our new president, Dr. Stephen Scheinthal. We will also be presenting Dr. David Bollard with the 2022 Physician of the Year Award, along with special service awards to Drs. Josh Corin, Susan Volpicella-Levy, and Otto Sabando. Our two past presidents, Drs. David Bollard and Dr. Hetal Patel, will be receiving special recognition for all their hard work during their presidential years. Before we get started, there are a few items we need to discuss. AROC 2022, there is an app. Please download the NJOPS app in either the Apple Store or your Google Play Store. Within that NJOPS app, you will find AROC 2022. It'll be listed as AROC 22 event. You can then post comments and pictures to the news feed, submit your surveys for each CME lecture you're participating in, and much more. The attestation form will be sent via email Friday morning. The attestation form will be made available online only using the link that you will be sent. This form will be due by Friday, June 3rd in order for us at NJOPS to submit your CME credits. When you go get the app, in the bottom right, there are 3 dots. Click on those dots. It'll say Events, hit Events, AROC, and you're done. Piece of cake. If you're not techie, find a techie person. Call the young children, as we say. End of life. Alternatives to opioids and child abuse will be offered online as on demand. All links will be available until Wednesday, May 4th. You have received this information in email yesterday. For physicians who are going to be taking state mandates for Florida's Board of Medical Examiners, please note that Florida's BME changed their rules for prescribing of controlled substances. They have now designated only 5 entities in providing those CME credits, and unfortunately, NJOPS is not one of them. We are unable to offer those credits to you going forward. You can find a list of those participants that can on their BME website. Please take time to visit our 60 exhibitors and sponsors in the exhibit area who are helping to support our convention year in and year out. Our exhibit card discount is back. All of you have received a copy of the exhibit floor along with the list of all the exhibitors. If you have your card signed by 100% of all the exhibitors, you will receive a $100 discount toward AROC 2023. 75% of the signatures, you get $75 off, sorry. 50% is $50, 25 is 25, 1 is 1. I think we all got that, okay? At 6:30 tonight will be our presidential event at the Edis pre-function area located on the casino floor by the guitar stairs. Everything here is a guitar, though. By those big guitar stairs. We hope you'll be able to join us to celebrate our new incoming president, Dr. Scheinthal. At this time, I would like to invite all of the NJOPS past presidents who are in the audience this morning, if they would please come forward and join me on stage. Any NJOPS past presidents, please come forward. So I'm going to kind of pretend I was a past president and stand here at the same time. And also our 2022-2023 officers, if they would also come forward. While everyone is walking down and going to squeeze on the stage behind me, I'm going to ask for our 2021-2022 president, Dr. Hetal Patel, to come to the podium. And where's Taima? Taima. Hi, Taima. So, I'm known as a prankster. I go off script all the time. So I'm going to ask for Dr. Hetal Patel to please come to the microphone. I'm taking speaker's prerogative, as they say.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's nice to see everybody here in person. I would like to just quickly recognize Taima for all her hard work and everything she's done for the organization, everything she's done for me. this entire year. So without her dedication and all her support, NJOPS wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you, Time. I have something for you.
Thank you. And if I can just say, you guys are just absolutely amazing people, so it's a pleasure to work with everyone.
Surprise. Okay. All right, hold on. Okay, so now I'm going to ask for President Hetal Patel to please come forward and administer the oath of office to the incoming president, Dr. Sheinthal.
Okay. Dr. Sheinthal, by the power vested in me as president of the New Jersey Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons, I hereby administer the oath of office for the coming year. Do you swear to uphold the bylaws of the New Jersey Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons and the American Osteopathic Association and faithfully perform the duties of the office to which you have been elected?
I do.
Now, Dr. Sheinthal will administer the oath to the new incoming board of directors, including a new executive and finance committee. Congratulations.
Hey, gang. By the power vested in me as the president of the New Jersey Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons, I hereby administer the oath of office for the coming year. Do you swear to uphold the bylaws of the New Jersey Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons and the American Osteopathic Association and faithfully perform the duties of the office to which you have been elected? I do. Okay.
Scripts are wonderful. Congratulations to the new Executive Finance Committee, to Dr. Sheinthal. Congratulations. That's the cue. There you go. Thank you. You may all return to your seats. And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce the 2022-2023 President of the New Jersey Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons, Stephen Sheinthal, DO.
Well, good morning, everyone, and just wow. Welcome back to in-person AROC, and welcome to what is officially New Jersey Osteopathic Medicine Week, as just proclaimed by Governor Murphy. I'm like really overwhelmed that you're all here, and I think not only does it deserve a picture, but I think we should do a selfie again with everyone. So let's see if I can. Okay. Okay, round two. I need like my kids.
You're getting CME for this, it's okay.
I got to tell you, I'm deeply honored to be your president for the coming year. Many of you know me well, and for those of you that don't, with a little liberty from George Lucas, osteopathic medicine runs strong in my family. My sister is a pediatrician and SOM class of '99, and my son, who proudly told me one day, "Dad, I'm not going to be a psychiatrist, I'm going to be a real doctor," is SOM class of 2020, the year without a live graduation, and he is currently a PGY2 resident at Cooper. There are so many people to thank, but first and foremost, I want to thank all of you, our members. I want to thank you for believing in NJOPS, for supporting NJOPS, and for coming back to AROC this year. We've exceeded over 800 attendees, and we've sold out the Hard Rock. This conference exceeds our last live conference in 2019, both in attendance and revenue. And a very big thank you to our exhibitors. Please be sure to visit the exhibit hall and meet with many of our vendors as you can, not only for the discount for next year's AROC, but certainly because these people have come out to meet and be with all of us. Their support has been key to making this meeting happen. Personally, I want to thank Jefferson Health New Jersey, Inspira Health Network, and Virtua Health Systems for their generous support of NJOPS and of me. I'm on staff at all three, and I'm chief at Jefferson Health and at Virtua's Our Lady of Lourdes. I'm truly overwhelmed by their generosity and acknowledgement of my becoming president. Thank you to Rowan University for being my home since, well, 1987, and supporting me on this journey. A huge thank you to the Rowan SOM Department of Psychiatry, the largest osteopathic psychiatry department in the nation. We are also one of only two psychiatry residency programs with ACGME osteopathic recognition. My department faculty are my extended family and have been incredible in their support. I'm grateful for their teamwork and their commitment to Rowan SOM's mission. I'd also like to extend a thank you to our platinum sponsor, Physicians Only CBD, and our silver sponsors, NJ Pure and NJ ACOFP, in helping make this conference a financial success. I would not be here today if it were not for Todd Schachter. Todd's encouragement to get me involved in our state organization and being a great role model and mentor on my journey here at NJOPS has been invaluable. I'd also like to thank my fellow E&F members, Hedl, George, John Torres, Dan DeFeo, and John Foster. I did that because there were two Johns. There was a lot of confusion in House of Delegates yesterday. For forming a great leadership team and with whom I'm eager to work in the coming year. Thank you to the past presidents under whom I've served on the NJOPS board, Drs. DeSanti, Pedowitz, Sabando, Bollard, and Schuckman, and of course Dr. Patel, for their leadership in creating seriously big shoes to fill. Thank you to Marty Levine and Ira Monka for their generous and expert guidance, both in my roles as AOA Bureau of Specialists Chair and now on NJOPS issues. I'd like to thank my really incredible mentors, Anita Chopra, Tom Cavalieri, and Karen Nichols, for always being frank with me, giving me the best advice, and believing me and bringing out the best in me. I'm overwhelmed, seriously overwhelmed, Karen, by your agreeing to fly in from Arizona for this event and being our keynote today. Please be sure to stay and hear her talk. I promise you it will be a treat. Thank you to Alice, Amanda, John, Pat, and Skip, our behind-the-scenes team, or in my son Gabi and daughter Julie's vernacular, the stagehands of NJOPS, who make this organization run every day and make it an organization of which you can be proud. A special thank you to Tima Katorik, who many of you just know from her NJOPS emails. In the time she has been with us, she has embraced osteopathic medicine. She has become one of our strongest advocates. Her pride and service to our organization is evident in everything she does. Our current strong financial situation is due to her fiscal acumen and ability to quickly think on her feet. Ladies and gentlemen, if it were not for Tima, the consequences of canceling live in-person AROC in 2020 and in 2021 could have created fiscal catastrophe. Tima's innovative thinking, people skills, and ability to partner with the Hard Rock saved this organization more than $1 million. Thank you, Tima, for your guidance, your passion, your professionalism, and your leadership. I'm pleased to let you know that your 2022 NJOPS board is diverse and represents all of New Jersey. The following health systems: Atlantic Health System, Capital Health, CarePoint, Cooper Hospital, Inspira Health Network, Jefferson Health New Jersey, St. Joseph's, Valley Health, and Virtua Health Systems, as well as people in private practice, are represented on your board. Even during much of last year's COVID shutdowns, your organization was hard at work fighting for and defending your practice rights. Legislative milestones in 2021 including stopping the physical therapist from being able to perform dry needling without the oversight of a licensed practitioner, and the Truth and Transparency Law. This legislation has been lauded nationally, so patients know if they're seeing a physician or seeing a nurse practitioner. Very clearly, our legislative success is tied to our longstanding lobbyist, Lori Clark. Having had the pleasure of accompanying Lori to Trenton for hearings, I've seen firsthand that she is truly magic. Well respected by legislators, they welcome her opinion, look forward to speaking with her in their offices, and even in passing in our State House halls. Thank you, Lori, for all your support for NJOPS, and we look forward to more success under your stewardship. This year is already promising to be an exciting year for NJOPS. In July, our medical school, Rowan SOM, will welcome its largest entering class, 288 students, and open its additional location in Sewell. This milestone will make our medical school the largest medical school in New Jersey. It is important to note that it is also the only medical school in the state invested in to grow. Trenton knows Rowan SOM is a good investment, with nearly half of our graduates staying to practice in New Jersey. No other New Jersey medical school can make this claim and say that they are having the same impact on the quality of life in New Jersey. So why is the growth of our school important for NJOPS? First and foremost, a strong state organization means a strong medical school, and vice versa. Nearly a third of NJOPS members are Rowan SOM faculty, and that number will grow as the school's faculty increases. You cannot separate Michigan State University from Michigan Osteopathic Association, nor PCOM from POMA. NJOPS outreach and engagement of our medical school medical students is sowing the seeds of NJOPS leadership for tomorrow. Also in July, we will nominate our own Ira Monka, whom I've had the privilege to know since I was 12, yes, 12 everyone, and who I did my family medicine clerkship with, as did my son Eitan 29 years later, will be nominated to be the president-elect of the AOA at the AOA's House of Delegates meeting in Chicago. On September 29th through October 1st, mark your calendars, we will be having our first mini AROC conference at the Morristown Hyatt. For those of you who live below 195, that's not the Moorestown Hyatt, that's the Morristown Hyatt in Morris County. This conference will expand our reach to more of our North Jersey peers and to our New York colleagues. Also save the dates of November 17th to 19th for the annual Kalahari CME Conference. This great family-friendly resort combines excellent medical education with climate-controlled environment that caters to kids. And later this year, with the help of Lori, we hope to be erecting a historical marker at 477 Main Street in Orange, the original headquarters of the AOA dating back to 1918. While this year will certainly have its highlights, our fight to protect our practice rights will be front and center. This year, not only are the nurse practitioners looking for independent practice rights, but also the physician assistants are attempting to make inroads into our scope of practice. I don't know how many of you know this, but in Gloucester County, there's a group called Garden State Psychiatric Services. Ladies and gentlemen, there is not a psychiatrist in that group. Make no mistake, we are in the fight of our lives. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but just last week, Wisconsin's governor vetoed legislation that would have permitted independent practice rights to nurse practitioners. I have no doubt we will see similar legislation move through our Assembly and Senate with the seismic shifts that occurred in the last election. Our best defense against this type of legislation moving forward is a strong JOPAC. If you're wondering, what is JOPAC? It is our political action committee which allows NJOPS to lobby for our rights and puts us at the table where nurse practitioners and physician assistants are already speaking with key legislators. Currently, JOPAC has about $4,000 in its account. The Nurse Practitioner Political Action Committee has well over $20,000. Currently, JOPAC has the support of 100% of your E&F committee, each of whom has committed a minimum of $1,000 to this fund. Contributing to JOPAC is our lifeblood, and at this point in history is critical to our professional survival. If everyone who was attending AROC contributed $100 to JOPAC, we would have well over $70,000 in the account. Contributions to JOPAC can be paid out over the course of a year, and there is a brand new GoFundMe page for JOPAC, which Lori Clark will be talking about shortly. We all agree nurse practitioners and physician assistants are helpful in our practices. Some of the best geriatrics I learned during my fellowship was taught to me by some talented nurse practitioners. But we all know that the hours of education we undergo, the regulations we are faced to endure to ensure our excellence is matchless. And we need to clearly get that message across to our legislators. Together, we can make a difference, and together we can keep New Jersey a great place for physicians to practice. Thank you all again for your unwavering support of NJOPS and for entrusting me to be your president in the coming year. I will be representing you with gratitude and pride. Finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Michelle, and my kids, Ari, Gabi, Julie, and Eitan, for always being there, always supporting me, and understanding all the times I'm in meetings and on the phone. Without a doubt, you are the secret to my success. I wish all of you a really wonderful AROC. Thank you for being here.
This year, NJOPS Awards Committee is awarding our NJOPS past president, Dr. David Bollard, with the 2022 Physician of the Year. Dr. Bollard is now only the second president since 1901 to serve as the president of the association for 2 consecutive years. Dr. Bollard, would you please come up to pick up your award and say a few words? Shake your hand.
Man.
Please.
Say a few words?
Why don't you say a few words? A few words.
Dio Heaven. So, Lifetime Achievement kind of award. What does it feel like? Well, I was at home in bed one day and Linda brought me breakfast. It's like bacon, scrambled eggs, toast, coffee. And I said to her, "Am I dying?" And she said, "No, I'm just being nice." And I said, "Are you dying?" And she said, "No, I'm not dying. I'm just trying to be thankful." So that's how I feel this award. It's like I'm not dying as far as I know, neither are you. You survived a couple years with me, so thank God for that. I'd like to thank a few people. Ira, he nominated me for this, and if I didn't win, just having Ira as a friend and a colleague and a mentor to, say, I think Dave should do this, I won right there. The committee, I was talking to one of the past presidents last night, Kathy, and she said, when your peers recognize you, there's something special about that. And I have to say that's true, because just the fact that there were so many qualified people on that list and they all sat down and picked you is kind of overwhelming. So I thank the committee for that as well. Who else can I thank? Linda. She always keeps me grounded. Whenever I do something stupid, she tells me when I'm getting too stressed out, she says, "Go shoot at Hudson Farm. Come back tomorrow if you want." And I do. So that's a good thing, so thanks. I have 37 now doctors who work with me, and they all reached out and thanked me for what I do for the state and what I do for them. And a couple of them that made the trip down, Joe Casella and Tony DiPaolo. Now, Joe hired me, as the saying goes, and then I hired everybody else. And Joe and I have a great, love-hate, brother-sister relationship. I like to think of him as the sister. And I know he likes me for my brain, and I like him for his looks, so it works out okay. But if I had his looks, I'd probably be dead by now, so it's probably better. And then Dr. DiPaolo. Dr. DiPaolo is kind of like, he's like Tony Soprano went to medical school. It's about the best way I could say it. So Tony, it'll be a Tuesday afternoon. He'll see 35 people. He'll get out. It's 6:15. He'll drive down to AC, 140 miles an hour. He'll get down there in an hour and 40 minutes. He'll get changed. He'll go to dinner. He'll go out all night. We'll be drinking. We'll be carousing. He'll go gamble after that, 4:30 in the morning. He'll go in. He'll take a shower, and he'll drive back home to work. Now, for most of us, we would call that a lifetime event, right? Tony calls that Tuesday. And that's the truth. Tuesday for Tony is like, I just described it, and strike me down if that's not the truth, because it is. So that's the kind of group we have. We're all kind of pals, and we kind of hang out. And I feel that way with NJOPS as well. They're all brothers and sisters now, and they welcomed me with open arms. When I came here, there was a lot of process and not a lot of results, I would say. So we worked on the result part of it, and I remember telling Tima, you do your job, don't worry if you make mistakes, because I'll cover you. And when a person has that kind of freedom, they go out and do great things, because she didn't have to worry about being second-guessed, or this didn't work, because let me tell you, everybody makes mistakes. But if you run your life worrying about being called on the carpet for making mistakes, that's when things don't happen. So the fact that we put that shield in front of you, I think helped you be very effective. Yeah. So it's great. So, here's another thing. I just was going to say thank you, and Linda said, that's all you have to do. Just say thanks and move on. And then Tima goes, yeah, I gave you 15 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I got 15 minutes, and does anybody watch Seinfeld? So there's an episode where Kramer tells Paul O'Neill he's got to hit 2 home runs. Guy's like, 2 home runs? What are you, crazy? It's like 15 minutes. How am I going to do this? But but Paul O'Neill hit 1 home run and a triple and was thrown out at home, so I can do it. I know I can do it. So Steve was great, his speech, and he really hit upon something that you all need to reflect on. We are in the fight of our lives, and this battle's been going on for a while, and there's 2 issues that I think about all the time with where osteopathic medicine is at this point. The one issue is there's a devaluation of what we do. Happens all the time, right? You're a provider, you're not a physician. The janitor has as much, say in the patient care as you do. The nurse practitioners are running the codes, and you're pumping the thing saying, I forgot more about cardiology than she ever knew. And you can't say that because why? Because you work for the health system. And if you work for the health system, you need to watch what you say, which is the second part of this. As the physicians move from private practice to health system work, there's a natural clamping down at what you can do to try to help patient care. Because why? Because, well, I want to raise, I want career advancement, I want to be able to do things within my job that if I cause trouble, I can't do, right? Because you'll get a little check next to you. So the loss of physician gravitas, as you say, and the moving from private practice to the practice of health system medicine are 2 areas where we can actually do something here. And it is set up to do something. You have a great team. You have a great political team. They know everybody in the state. And they need to be your voice. Because alone, Hedl, you can't say anything. You can't say anything. You can't say anything. But together, we can say something. And we can say there's madness in this when you're telling me that 2 years of postgraduate work equals 7, and 4 hours equals 12 hours a day of study. It just doesn't, it's not reality-based, but they're telling us it is, and we can't say anything about it or we're bad people. But we gotta say something about it because it's actually dangerous, and the only person I ever see who's left out of healthcare all the time are patients, right? There's health systems, there's payers, there's the government, there's the doctors getting less and less input, and then there's patients just, what do? If we can't stand up for them, who's gonna? So we have to stick together. And the way we have to stick together right now, you have a state association, that we have a rock star, and we have a team that's smarter than everybody. We need to use them at the state level, and we've got a New Jersey president of the AOA nationally. We need to work nationally and at a state level to just bring some balance to the madness of 2 equals 14 and 7 equals 2. And it doesn't make any sense, but if nobody says it, it's just going to happen. So if I leave you today with anything, you have 2 choices. Finish your life, do your thing, go to God's waiting room in Boca and finish it out, and you're done. Or go JOPAC, give some money, let us fight the fight. The fight is a good cause, it's a righteous cause, and it is a cause for the patients. Because when I get in the emergency room, I really don't want a PA taking care of me. I want the smartest physician in the building. But I'm not going to have that if we don't stop this now. So each of you, Joe Packett, $100, $200, it will not hurt you, I promise. You'll still get to Boca, maybe 3 days later. But the things that you can save is healthcare. And, this is all about the school and the students and the future. What kind of future is it going to be if we don't do that and we lose this battle? And now the doctors are managing 4 PAs, and I'm a health system. Why wouldn't I hire a PA? I could pay them half as much. If I have 2 or 3 of them, they'll see more people than you, and because they don't know what they're doing as much, they'll order more tests. Well, I own the tests, so why wouldn't I want to do that, right? So if we don't bring that kind of thought process into this, we're in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to leave it with that. I truly appreciate this award more than you'll ever know. And give some money to JOPAC. I gave $1,000 a year. Any picture? Where is he?
Oh,
Over
there
here?
he is.
Oh, there he is. He was changing film. What? No.
Thank you, Dr. Bollard. Doctors Susan Volpicello-Levy, Ada Sabando, and Josh Corin have been awarded the 2022 Special Service Awards. Dr. Sabando is unable to join us, but would Dr. Susan Volpicello-Levy and Dr. Josh Corin please join us on stage to collect your awards. Hand them out. You're the press. You get to hand them out. I'm just the MC. The last set of awards will be given to our two past presidents who kept the association going through this difficult pandemic. Doctors Bollard and Patel, would you please, him again? Would you please, Dr. Bollard, I'm kidding, Dr. Patel, please join us on stage. At this moment in time, pause. At this moment in time, we would like to present you with two resolutions written by your district's legislature. Very pretty. Can you all read that? You're going to know what it says in 1 second. The good news is I know where Dr. Patel went to school, so I don't have to read these things twice. So this is from the state of New Jersey, the Senate and General Assembly Joint Legislation Resolution. Whereas the Senate and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey are pleased to honor and salute Dr. Bollard and Dr. Patel, a highly esteemed member of their community in the township of Sparta, Sussex County, and, oh no, that's why I need the other one. You are where? Middlesex County, New Jersey, thank you. In appreciation of their extraordinary service to the New Jersey Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons. And whereas a distinguished graduate of Rutgers University, William and Mary College, and both UMD&J School of Osteopathic Medicine, both Dr. Bollard and Dr. Patel enjoys a superb career as one at CEO Premier Health Associates and as the hospitalist in Capital Health, thank you. See, I'm getting there. And the depth of his knowledge and her knowledge and breadth of his and her experience have immeasurably enhanced the sterling reputation of their renowned medical practice. Whereas dedicated to the success of the next generation of medical professionals, both physicians impart their wisdom as Assistant Professor of Clinical Medicine, Department of Family Medicine at Rowan School of Osteopathic Medicine, as well as Dr. Patel, and both have given generously of their time and energy at both teaching at their various institutions. Both doctors have exhibited a tireless commitment to their colleagues and peers through their efforts as president of the Executive Board of the New Jersey Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons, as well as their contributions to the American Osteopathic Association and the American College of Osteopathic Family Physicians. And whereas, within all the spheres of their life and work, both doctors have established a model to emulate and has set a standard of excellence toward which others might strive. And whereas, it is altogether proper and fitting for the New Jersey State Legislature to acknowledge both physicians and to praise them as individuals of remarkable character and exceptional determination. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the State and Senate and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey that this legislature hereby commends Drs. Bollard and Patel and pay tribute to their meritorious record of service, leadership, and commitment, and extends sincere best wishes for continued success in their future endeavors. And be it further resolved that a duly authenticated copy of this resolution signed by the Senate President and the Assembly Speaker and attested by the Senate Secretary and Assembly Clerk be transmitted to both Drs. Bollard and Dr. Patel. Congratulations, both of you. Congratulations.
Wow, thank you. Amazing.
I practiced that watching television commercials for automobile leases. So I can speak very quick. So I'm sure many of you have seen and heard that New York has expanded their scope of practice rights for non-physician medical professionals, including APNs, NPs, and PAs. The same bill has been introduced into the state legislature in New Jersey, and we have our General Counsel, Lori Clark, to talk to you about the current legislative initiatives. Please welcome Lori Clark on stage.
It is so wonderful to be here with all of you. I'm really enjoying this. Okay, Dr. Scheinthal, our new president, and Dr. Bollard have set the stage, so I don't really have to go too technical. But since I do have this opportunity to be in front of you wonderful physicians, I want to give a little practical politics. So if you think, so you see the map of New York. If you think we can't beat this, that's the wrong answer. We can, absolutely can. So in New Jersey, we have 40 legislative districts, okay, 40. In each district, you have one state senator, not U.S. senator, state senator, and 2 assembly representatives. In order to pass a bill, it's a numbers game. You have 80 seats in the assembly, you need 41. In the Senate, you have 40 seats, and you need 21. And you always need one thing to pass a bill. You need the governor. So as you can see, it's really not that difficult to make a seismic shift in the way the votes are. Now, we do have the statistics in from the last legislative session, which ended in early January of this year. And in the 219th legislative session, there were 11,427 bills introduced or proposed. Of those, 734 were sent to the governor. Of that number, 670 were signed into law. So you can see, and when we talk to you about passing a bill, some of the bills that we've had passed, and you can see how difficult it is, only that very small number, and the agendas are very limited. So we have had and we can have a big impact, and one of the reasons we can is because we've done the work over the years. Those of you that have been members for years, so now we've done the work and we've gotten up to this level, and now we need to go totally to the stratosphere to kill this nurse practitioner bill. So we really have to ask, even though we know always finances are tight, think of something that you could, not go to Starbucks or whatever, and please send funding to JOPAC. Taima, our brilliant CEO, has designed, and this is an event we were at with everyone. Last night, I had the honor to be with Dr. Eng, and he asked me if we knew Senator Gopal. All I had to do was go to my phone and show Taima's picture with Senator Gopal. We use our money the best way that we can. In the years past, it was fairly, it was never reasonable, but it was maybe $250 or $500 to go to an event. Now we are participating at a very high level with legislative leadership, which we need to do, and we sometimes need $2,500, $3,500, $5,000 to stay with everyone up at that level, okay? So once again, we have, Taima has created this QR code, and all you have to do is download that on your phone, scan it, correct, Taima? And, but let's say you're not tech savvy. We take checks, we take credit cards, Alice is at the front desk. Please, whatever you can, if we come out of AROC with a nice bounce of funding, because now is the time. This is going to be critical from now until the end of next year. So for this current year, we are in a federal election cycle, so the state will not run again until next November. And at that point, all 120 legislators will be on the ballot. Not the governor, just the legislators, and they will be running in the newly designed legislative districts. So don't you think they all want the support of everyone? And once again, you know, you could pass a bill in one house and block it in the other house. And that was the reason why we were so fortunate that Senate President Sweeney, because his brother was a DO family doc, and Dr. Lorata will remember when he told us, Lori, I will never sign that, I will never post that bill as long as I'm here. And, you know, people may think about politicians. I'm telling you, in Trenton, we have some pretty good guys. We may not always agree with them 100%, but he gave his word, and he never let that happen. Now we have a new Senate president. We have new people to work with. We have to get back in there. But I know that we have enough core support, if we have the funding, that we can continue to stop this. You know, for one thing, nurse practitioners in New Jersey have a very good scope of practice already. They don't really need this portion. But anyway, I digress. So everyone knows the legislative updates that we put out every week. I'm going to be here if anyone wants to talk about any bills over the next few days. But this is really priority number one. And when our physicians said it's the fight of our lives, it's the fight of our lives. So please help us. I want to thank you for the opportunity to represent such an esteemed organization. And once again, happy to answer any questions. Thank you.